Welcome back to Slancha to Sustainability. 2025 is just around the corner, and sustainability is just now so much more important than ever, especially for businesses. And if you're planning to take advantage of a lot of different business opportunities in the new year, as you should be, sustainability should be top of mind. Today, we're going to talk with Donal about what businesses should be aware of coming into the new year and how we can get ready now and starting in January. So, Donal, what do businesses need to be thinking about?
So I really see 2025 as being the first real year that we have a lot of quantifiable business cases for sustainability that honestly businesses just they can't ignore anymore. So I want to start off with there's a lot of opportunities. And when we talk about the different things businesses should prepare for, the things and how to prepare, a lot of them overlap. So kind of when you do this job once and do the right thing once and keep that momentum going, you're actually preparing for many different opportunities. So that's I'd like to just start with that at the outset. We're going to mention different things. Don't feel as if you have to do something different for everyone. So we'll cover the key areas that businesses should be aware of, how to prepare for them, and then how to really make the most out of 2025. So the first, we've talked about it before and we've spoken about it previously, is the CSRD, or the Corporate Sustainability Reporting Directive from the EU. So right now, 2024, businesses are finishing up gathering data, and these are large and listed companies of 500 plus employees. They've spent all year getting to grips with the CSRD, seeing what does it entail, getting all of their data together, and then they'll be releasing reports into 2025. And this isn't a one-off. This is going to be going good foreseeable future. So businesses need to be aware of this. And part of that overall reporting, and it's really going to ramp up next year, you're going to see these larger companies asking their suppliers for information. So for SMEs, this really means that you need to be able to show that you have a sustainability roadmap in place and some commitments. And then anything you're communicating does need to be backed up by some sort of supporting documentation or evidence. So that's the first thing. So even if you're not directly reporting on the CSRD as a business, if you don't see you've in any of the scopes over the coming years, that doesn't mean you're off the hook by any means. These larger businesses will be actively looking for suppliers that can fulfill these ESG criteria and make it easy for them to work with them. They don't want to spend a lot of time and energy chasing suppliers for this information. Yes, I do believe there's an onus on these larger companies to help smaller suppliers with this because it's a huge challenge. That's not an lie about it.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses are facing this for the first time. So, for SMEs, be aware that your larger companies, if you are in these bigger supply chains, that you will be asked for some sort of data or credentials or targets around sustainability or ESG. And it's interesting from our point of view, then. So, we're actually working with businesses on both sides of the fence here. So, we're working with these larger companies who are struggling with how do we engage our suppliers? How do we let them know what we want? How do we let them know what we expect over the coming years? And even for the larger businesses, they're doing so many other things. This is a big work stream for them to undertake also. And then we're also working with smaller businesses and SMEs on gathering that data, being prepared for data requests right now in 2024, but they really, really will ramp up significantly now in 2025. So, from our point of view, we always talk about simplifying sustainability, and our advice to businesses doesn't differ from that. So, we want to start doing the easy things and doing them right. Number one, we'd always advise to try and get a sustainability champion in place or a green team. So we do think that you now need a point or someone to lead this. Otherwise, the work just won't get done. It will fall aside and other things will take its place. So number one, get a sustainability champion or green team in place. Then in terms of what you're going to do within your business, there's some really easy wins that a lot of businesses probably aren't doing at the minute. Just start by simply measuring your energy use. And this can be done really easily through your bills that you're getting monthly. Look at your waste output as well. A lot of the time you're getting bills with quantities on them that you can easily track. And what we do then so is get these on our platform, compare them year on year, look for areas where we can actually start to reduce those emissions and then measure the difference. And it's really, I think it's really encouraging to businesses when they can actually see the change and then start communicating that as well. And then over the whole spectrum of sustainability, we definitely say like really start gathering data, get a system in place where you can start gathering everything that you're doing and having proof points associated with them. So then when you get asked for any information by customers in your supply chain, that you're actually not scrambling around for this information and it's all there to hand. So that's around the CSRD. And really it's just the big message this year is that businesses need to be aware of it. You will get asked for information and you can get prepared relatively easy. So start that process now, definitely.
If a business is gonna start measuring, I know you said energy, but what are kind of the top things that businesses are getting asked for in, kind of Enso's experience? What are the top areas are getting asked for?
We always break sustainability down into your ES and G, your environmental, social, and governance. And that's if you're looking at environmental, it really is your energy output. And can you just start getting your bills and just having a folder of your bills to back up the figures that you're putting or that you're communicating? That's really simple. And most businesses can do this. We're also looking at policies and procedures. So your bigger customers, they might want to know, do you have a diversity and inclusion policy? Do you have a fair, equitable, and transparent employee handbook? And it's really important to be able to back that up and share that when needed. And one of the other big things that we're seeing a lot is businesses want to sort of double check their own supply chain further. So they want to make sure that you're working with ethical suppliers. Can you communicate or can you prove that you're, sourcing sustainably where possible? So for a business, and I think most businesses are doing this anyway. Firstly, sustainable sourcing makes sense from a pricing point of view. Working with local suppliers, getting quality produce and quality raw materials is so important anyway for your end product. And then there's also what we're helping some businesses with is creating a sort of a document that you can send out to your supply chains around behaving ethically as a business and responsibly. And this can just be a checklist of some areas around child labor, making sure that they're paying their staff correctly. And it's for you doing that a little bit of due diligence on your side. Obviously, you can't go into all of your suppliers, but you definitely can send out documents for them to review, confirm, and sign. So I think from the bigger point of view, if you can send this data upstream, it'll give your customers a lot of comfort and build credibility for you and your business. The final one then is around the social side. And if you can demonstrate that you're maybe working with a charity or you're doing some sort of community engagement, community outreach, this is a win-win for businesses. We've spoken about it before, where you really can engage with your local community and work with them, have an impact, and then use that as part of your own sustainability strategy and sustainability communications. And a lot of the stuff there it doesn't take a lot of effort or work for you to implement. Obviously, on the social side, we'd always advocate, build long and lasting relationships. That simple community engagement is community outreach is easy to do at the beginning and easy to communicate.
I've noticed people get asked about their waste output too, particularly if
Oh,
you're
sure. Yeah.
supplying yeah,
Yeah.
like a physical product, and then you already said energy. That makes it really easy to calculate your Scope 2 emissions, and we see people getting asked for their direct emissions and then their emissions from energy use pretty often, so you'd be
Yeah.
set if you had that energy use, waste, and all of that set.
Exactly, and like a lot of the waste bills that you're getting are they've got the quantities on them, and it's just a matter of
Mhm.
you getting that data together. So a lot of opportunities there to get these things in place and then have it ready to communicate. And then another big area for businesses is around procurement and tendering. So a lot of businesses, a lot of their revenue comes from public tenders. Businesses really need to be aware that Ireland has adopted their own green public procurement strategy, and that's come off the back of EU guidelines. But in Ireland, all public tenders now are going to include up to 10% of points going towards ESG or sustainability criteria. And a lot of businesses, when they're doing a tender, they'll get 90% of it done. And then they come to sustainability and they're scratching their heads, they're looking around for information. You don't want this to be a stumbling block or something that's going to take up a lot more time. You want to be able to answer those questions thoroughly, robustly, and make sure that you're getting maximum points. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on these, lucrative contracts that are really integral to your own business. So the UK has also released something similar around socially responsible procurement. And here they're looking at contracts above £123,000. A minimum of 10% of points will be going towards ESG or sustainability criteria. So, again, if you're based in Ireland, exporting to the UK, we worked with a business who are working with the NHS. And they've got their own sort of socially responsible public procurement strategies, including all of these ESG questions. So it's really, really important to have this in mind if you are currently replying to tenders, or if that's part of your revenue, or if that's in your business plan for 2025. So please be aware for this. And also something to take into consideration is that these public procurement policies, they've now spilt over into the corporate world and into B2B procurement. So a lot of bigger businesses are using these as a blueprint. There's no need for them to rewrite green procurement strategy. So these businesses are taking some of these guidelines and pulling them into their own procurement strategies. So again, if you're satisfying the public procurement guidelines and criteria, you will most likely be satisfying a lot of the other corporate ones and B2B generally. And I know some industries will have some niche and specific questions.
Of course.
If you can create your own sustainability roadmap, with some of the areas that we spoke about already. So you can demonstrate that you have maybe an energy management system or that you're actually measuring your own energy use. If you can demonstrate the policies and procedures that you have, and then even your social impact, you will be ticking a lot of those boxes and hopefully scoring them maximum points. So it's just really, really important for businesses to be aware of this. And this is only going to grow. And we really see this coming into the corporate world a lot more. And look, it presents a great opportunity for you to differentiate yourself from competitors and then score more points on those tenders. So really, really important. And I think it's more of an opportunity than a challenge for businesses.
Absolutely. And all that hard work you put into getting ready for information requests regarding reporting and CSRD, you do that, you are ready for those 10% of points or 5% or exactly in
Yeah,
Ireland, they can kind of choose up to 10. But
yeah,
yeah, you're already ready. Donal said it really nicely in the beginning. These things overlap. These are not all separate extra tender points or just basically a bonus you get when you've already done that prep for the
completely.
information requests.
Really similar to that, then you're looking at contract negotiations. So you're looking at a lot of bigger corporates are including ESG in their contract renewals. So you might be an SME supplier to one of these bigger businesses in a 3 year contract. And then coming up in a year and a half, when you're renewing this contract or when it goes out to tender again, you are going to be looking at ESG or sustainability questions. This is becoming so prevalent now in the corporate world. In any sort of contract negotiations, whether it be renewal or new business. So, really similar to the last point, just be aware of this and really think of this as an opportunity to do this work once and then benefit from it across many different areas. And then going to go into consumer communications. And there's a lot of reasons why businesses need to be aware of how to communicate and what to communicate to consumers. So, firstly, if you're a B2C business, consumers are going to have a lot more power in their hands to review your sustainability information. What's called the digital link is going to be released over the coming years, where there'll be a QR code on products. And this will allow consumers to scan the QR code, and a whole myriad of information will come up around the sourcing of that product, your sustainability story, the business itself, and how ethical or unethical it might be. And again, what you want to do here is have that information ready to put into these data points as being able to tell that story. So if you're able to tell that story adequately and transparently and make it something that's going to add to your brand, it's a huge, huge opportunity because that same consumer could be scanning your competitor's code right beside you and nothing shows up. And all of a sudden, you've got a really more compelling story and a compelling reason why consumers should choose your product. So, this is a huge area. And then within that, even if you're B2B, your customer may be B2C. So, you're part of their sustainability story. You want to be able to add to their brand as well and add to their sales conversations. So then it means that these customers are happy with you as a supplier and that you're adding to them on more levels than just supplying them with a product. So there's a huge, huge opportunity here just to tell your sustainability story in a transparent, active, and really engaging format. And when we talk to marketing people within businesses, they get so excited about this because every marketing person is looking for more content, but better content. And there's so much out there at the minute. If you can find a way to differentiate yourself, it's so so important to take advantage of that opportunity. Even in a cost of living crisis, we're seeing this across the board where if you can offer your product which is at a good price point, high quality product, and then you can tag sustainability onto the top of that, it's really really compelling. I know I said compelling a few times, but consumers are
It
looking
is.
for a reason to buy your product, and if you can help them, why wouldn't you?
Even pre this digital link, if you on your product have some kind of certification,
Yeah,
whether it's B Corp or certified organic within the EU or whatever it might be, like I absolutely make purchasing decisions based on that.
it is. And at a minimum, you're always going to have your website on your packaging.
Absolutely.
That website's going to lead back, for an opportunity for you to tell that sustainability story. So at a minimum, want to be able to communicate this on your socials, on your website, and then as this whole communication element advances, be ready for that as well because it's a huge opportunity. Finally, we work as well with a lot of startups and even scaling businesses that want to expand and want to take the next step on their business journey. Investment is now Sustainability is a huge part of due diligence for investors. Investors are under pressure from their own funders to have sustainable and ESG compliant portfolios. And there's a huge, huge, huge shift now towards responsible investing, green investing. Again, if you're able to communicate to your prospective investors that, yes, you have this actually in place, it might not be a key pillar of your operations right now, but it's in your plans for as you grow and scale, sustainability will be a key part of how you operate as a business, how you employ people, how you treat people, and then just how you operate and how you have a positive impact on the environment and society around you. So for all businesses, I think if you're looking at any sort of investment, and that links into as well green finance, if you mightn't be going directly to investors for money, you might be working with banks who might have green loans or green financial packages. And again, it's a huge opportunity to get loans or get financing at a discounted rate, all while doing the right thing. So as a business, it's really something that you should not overlook. So investment and finance. We also talked to someone recently about mergers and acquisitions, and even
Yeah.
that acquisition part. If you're being able to communicate like that company that might be buying your company, if they can see, okay, this business actually has a really good sustainability roadmap, great sustainability operations within their business, it makes you just a better choice for them to make that decision. So
Actually, in line with that green finance, many of the banks in Ireland do have green financing goals where they're actually looking for people to finance to fill out their own portfolio. So you never
yeah,
know. That could be you. You could get some really nice loan terms or financing that could be really, really useful to growing your business, your sustainability mission, and to continue moving forward in 2025 and beyond. So, yeah, that investment piece is obviously key
yeah,
from an economic sustainability standpoint as
no,
well.
it really is. It really is.
We went through a lot of really good information today about what businesses should be thinking about moving forward and what are the key areas we can be looking at. But Donal, if you could just summarize for us, what are the top things businesses should be thinking about and should be ready with moving into 2025?
First thing is your mindset, and you now need to prioritize sustainability and see it as something that's really going to drive growth and scaling within your business. It's not just something that's, used to be a nice to have that you could tag onto your branding and help communicate what you're doing. It's now really, really important to have this in place for all of the business cases that we've just talked about. So firstly is mindset shift within your business and within senior management as well. This really needs to come from top down. We deal with a lot of businesses where there might be a sustainability champion, but the senior management level is still, maybe taking a little bit longer to come on board. For you as a business, really make sure that senior management and that senior team is committed and invested in sustainability. With that in mind, then, if you're coming from any area of the business, we really do advise that you have the sustainability lead in place. And this could be a sustainability champion who's really passionate about sustainability and wants to, contribute to their business and contribute to the planet and society. And that's fantastic. And depending on the size of your business, one person might not be enough. We'd always talk about, collaboration within a business, getting information, perspectives, and viewpoints from different areas within the business. So maybe it's creating this green or sustainability team within your business that includes, a marketing department, someone from sales, someone from HR, operations, and bringing these people together and having this sort of green team, sustainability team to drive action that they're checking in monthly. They've got action points. They know what they're going to do, and they can keep that momentum going. Without a lead, it's just not going to happen. And again, that senior management and from the higher level to be able to promote and prioritize sustainability within the business is very important for their to keep their momentum going as well. I was recently at a conference where we talked a lot about tech and sustainability, and really where we're at now because of the many different data points that need to be collected and how you're going to share sustainability and backing it up with supporting documentation. We really feel that Excel just isn't going to cut it anymore. A lot of businesses are still, or those who are measuring this information, it is on Excel, and that's great, and it's great that you're doing that. But for your own peace of mind and to make your life easier, being able to rely on some tech to help you pull all of this information together, make sure it's linked to the right data points, that's key because there's going to be so much data requests coming at you and so much data to collect. For you doing this off Excel or something similar, it's just going to become a huge job, and you can make this a lot easier for yourself. So that would be one thing, to maybe have a look around and invest in some tech solutions, and then just ask for help as well. Feel free to reach out to people like us. There's a lot of advice out there, and for us, it's all about getting started. And I think a lot of businesses falter at that moment where they know they want to do this, they know the reasons why, but then they don't know how to get started. So for us, it's just all about getting started, getting that momentum going, and really just look at the easy wins. And we've talked about a lot of them already today. And as always, we're here. If you want to reach out to us, we're happy to have that conversation with you and advise on how you can get started and start really taking advantage of sustainability for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really nice point to end on because We're all still learning about sustainability. We're all going to need to ask for help at some point. Sustainability is evolving. We're evolving as businesses. So share that knowledge, collaborate, reach out to us, learn as you can, and just take that first step. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good and start your new year off with some nice sustainability action.